Hello, and once again, you're watching To Be Determined. Today is episode 4, I believe.
3.
3? 4? We can't count. Who cares?
7.
As you might be able to tell, today's episode, co-wrestling.
I think it's because dipshit over there said it
Well,
last time.
we did hint with the little Michael Cole skit last episode.
Something like
But
that.
it's been long overdue, and let's jump right in it. So, I think the first thing we're going to get into is...
Set changes?
I think that's really apparent, but we were trying a different location this time. Hopefully it'll come out better. It's a lot nicer, I think.
Instead of just a bedroom. We like it. Anyway, we're going to start talking about
WWE.
and our issues that we have with the current product. I think what needs to be said first and foremost is they need to stop insulting the fans' intelligence.
Quite true.
They really do. Because there's some things that they do that are so obvious. I mean, anybody can predict things nowadays. It's just like, you really need to wisen up.
Current thoughts?
Honestly, WWE. Where to start? Where to begin where it would actually make sense?
Well, first you got the pay-per-views, the way they're naming them after gimmick.
Yeah, that's the gimmick. I like, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, the good stuff.
And SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, even some of the older stuff.
I thought King of the Ring was good.
Yeah, like King of the
exactly.
like King of the Ring, that was pretty good.
Why not make the King of the Ring
Maybe
number one contender? It's about the equivalent of Money in the Bank.
Maybe have a special one-off of an In Your House. Bring that back just for one pay-per-view. That'd be cool for nostalgia's sake, at least.
Yeah, it used to be you'd get a cheap pay-per-view.
I miss
every
that.
other month or every month, except for those big four.
Tell you the truth, I don't even want a pay-per-view every month. I would settle for just having Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and King of the Ring. You have 5 spread out over a fucking year.
Like the really big ones.
Maybe have one more, and you have a pay-per-view every other month.
I guess the reason for having so many pay-per-views obviously is
They're trying to make money.
More income, but the downside is that you have less build-up for your matches, and if you have less build-up, less people are going to care, and if less people are going to care, less people are going to buy it, and therefore you're not making as much money as you want.
Yeah, but it's not so much that. It's also...
If you got 4 weeks to build up to a pay-per-view, you could do it
If you were good enough, but for some reason the effort's not put into the storylines to make it worthwhile.
True. You just all the current stuff going on, man. Nexus is cool, but still.
Yeah, there's good stuff. I mean, it's not like it's all bad.
What the hell's going on, though, with, this whole Kane, Rey Mysterio, Jack Swagger thing? It's odd.
Well, before we get off topic of the pay-per-view names, Money in the Bank just came and gone, and
I prefer the match at Mania, and that's it.
it was a good thing. It was a good draw for Mania, and splitting it so that each brand has a shot at your title, that's taking the value or what value it had out of the match, because you could originally you could choose whoever you want. You could you had 3 brands when ECW, WWE ECW was still around. You had 3 brands to choose from.
That's true.
Now you're eliminating that, and it's just it's like just having a tournament to have a number 1 contender. It's like you just have a ladder, and all the people are in the ring at once.
It's another gimmick.
Building pay-per-views around gimmick matches just
no. I don't know. I don't really have much to say on it. Just to say that it doesn't interest me as a fan. I don't know if I really have much deeper of an opinion other than I'd settle for just having, like, the 5 big ones that have been around for forever.
It's like, didn't they do a Hell in the Cell fucking pay-per-view?
yeah.
Hell in the Cell wasn't that bad,
Elimination
though.
Chamber pay-per-view.
And that wasn't that bad either. But then it started to get old. The
Well,
Elimination Chamber, you could build a pay-per-view around that. Because of the way they used to do it. The cage is, the chamber's hanging there, fucking the whole fucking time. They have big panning shots of the fucking thing. And they have normal matches, and it goes on like any pay-per-view would, and then the fucking culmination is like some fucking championship match or whatever in the Elimination Chamber. And
Yeah,
it's all
but the
violent
fact-
and evil, and it's really cool and special. You do it one time.
But they put it on a single pay-per-view, No Way Out. So keep it with No Way Out. Just keep No Way Out as the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
It does sound cooler.
Instead of changing the name of the thing to suit the fucking gimmick match that you're going to promote at this pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's just pretty lame.
I don't want to see WWE presents Elimination Chamber. I want to see WWE presents No Way Out featuring the Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing I want to see. That's old school. That's awesome.
I mean, some of these gimmick matches generally are supposed to be used as feud enders. But instead, it's just like, all right, let's have a bunch of these matches and throw some people in there, and it's the novelty of the match.
Actually,
once you basically have it like oversaturated, the novelty of it wears off, and it's not as like the mythos of it's not as dramatic of a thing as they want it to be.
well, I think of an Elimination Chamber match as a feud starter. That's where you'd start a feud. Same thing with a Money in the Bank match. You're starting a feud. Basically, the person who gets that briefcase is going to go in, and they're going to either feud with the champ right now, or they're going to feud with some other people over that briefcase.
Now, doesn't having a Money in the Bank pay-per-view, doesn't that kind of like almost void having a Royal Rumble?
Yeah, because the Rumble was to determine the beginning of the year. From then to WrestleMania, who the number one
No, it just
contender
seems
was
like it's
gonna be.
another way to get a shortcut to the
Hold
champion.
up. I'm talking. The Money in the Bank was originally the person who was going to bridge the gap from Mania till the end of the year. Whatever the end of the year is.
And if you think about it, depending on how long people hold the belts for, you got the Rumble winner who's supposed to have a shot at WrestleMania for the title. And then originally, with Money in the Bank, you had another person who had a shot and who could cash in. So you have two people running around who have title opportunities.
Anytime to WrestleMania, though. So it's not. They're not usually at the same time.
Yeah, you have one person locked, and you have one who can do it whenever. Now with Money in the Bank, you have three people. You have the Royal Rumble winner who's locked at Mania, but then you got two other people who are running around. So you got three people who, according to the storyline, has an opportunity to wrestle for a title, but hardly any of them have storylines to go with it, have feuds. It's just like you want an opportunity for a shot.
But then the problem that I have with it is it takes away, because they're not going to have it at Mania anymore. And the Mania one was awesome because of the fact that you could go for any title you wanted. And now you're not going to have that because they're having a pay-per-view and each brand has their own match. So each brand can only get the one title match.
And that's a good point because people look forward to Mania because of you have a match where a lot of spots could happen, and it was a draw. And now some people might be like, well, okay, you don't have it anymore. A lot of the anticipation for Mania is lost. Well, besides what that says about the match, it also speaks volumes about the quality of the booking. Because if you need a gimmick match to generate interest for your pay-per-view, whereas in years past your Manias were
were grand and like majestic, and because of all the feuds you had going on, if your booking quality can't do it alone, then that speaks, that speaks of just, how good your creative staff is, which isn't very good nowadays.
Whoa. It's superstar Steve Austin.
Yes. So bad idea. So the booking in itself
Takes a hit.
takes a huge hit, and I don't know if it's because you're hiring people who write for sitcoms and they don't understand that writing for wrestling is different.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're writing storylines for people who don't really have that much of a personality. You used to having wild characters and having wild gimmicks does not mean that you're kiddie. You can have gimmicks that make people individuals that stand out and still have good mature storylines. It's just that now everybody is kind of bland. They kind of a lot of people look the same. A lot of people say that WWE's cookie cutter factory where they have generic white guys in short tights with the same haircut. But having a gimmick is a good thing, and nowadays you're running.
No, you're right. Because like when people really were into it, I mean, you had you didn't just go to see a bunch of guys. You went and you saw Stone Cold Steve Austin.
They were
right there because that was a gimmick, but it was still marketable. It wasn't some over the top weird kind of like Doink the Clown kind of a thing. I mean, Doink the Clown was cool, but still, you get my point. Like it's what he's talking about. Like bring back actual gimmicks that play up on people's personalities, like this dashing Cody Rhodes thing. Granted, a little weird because dashing. I hate that word, but still, it's a gimmick.
Dude, it works.
It does, but it's a gimmick. That's what I'm talking about. You can have a lot of those and have them be different enough where they're interesting.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have to have, you can have a couple over the top ones, like you have Kane, you have The Undertaker. I mean, The Undertaker's awesome, but let's face facts, his gimmick is completely fucking, nonsensical. That shit does not happen. Yeah. But it's fucking awesome to watch.
It's just weird that his gimmick has lasted.
Oh yeah, they say that all the time. He's awesome though. It's The Undertaker. But you get my point. You have the over the top ones, but like now you just have all these like Zack Ryder's, MVP, Kofi,
but they are gimmicks.
Jack Swagger, yeah.
But the gimmick isn't
they're
really emphasized. I don't
they're
think
just not.
There's no
I don't think
gimmick.
the gimmick is emphasized as much as it should be.
Or great gimmicks.
You're supposed to put over the gimmick, and I don't think.
Yeah, the gimmick's supposed to be slightly exaggerated. That's the point.
Yeah.
It's over the top.
Now they're not that over the top.
That's what I'm trying to say. Dashing Cody Rhodes is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it is.
That's a great gimmick.
It actually makes me want to actually watch him.
In contrast, having Ted DiBiase Jr. pretty much being, $1 Million Man fucking 2010, that, even the $1 Million Man has been quoted as saying he doesn't know if that quite works for him. Because he's not really going in his own direction.
That's right, it's not. He's basically living off of his old man's money.
Mm-hmm.
And his trust funds. He's not being the $1 Million Man 2010. He's being the spoiled rich kid who can get anything he wants because Daddy has a lot of money.